Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be my June wrap-up. I read quite a number of books in June. I read 11, so I'm really happy with that. And yeah, I read 3 3-star books, 1 4-star, and then 7 5-stars. Thought that was really good. So I'm just going to show you the books. So the first 3 books that I read in the month, of course, were my in-depth books. I read Celebrity in Death, which is number 34. This is number 34. Delusion in Death is 35, and Calculated in Death is 36. I love them all. I give them all 5 stars, and yeah, I really love this series. The series is still really good, even after like 36 books, and there's actually 45, I want to say, so far, and there's still more coming out in just this series, because again, this is Nora Roberts' other series. This is her pen name, J.D. Robb. So yeah, she writes a lot of books every year, and I just absolutely love this series, and I love her, and I love all of her books, at least the ones that I'm able to read, because again, she has a ton, and I used to be like I used to read any book I can get my hands on by her in high school. I still try to, but if I owned all of her books, then, I mean, I'd have a case just for her. A bookcase just for her, and it's too much. I don't have the money, I don't have the room, and I love her, and I love all of her books, and there are a few that I just really want to buy, but this is the one that I'm buying, because I love this series so much, and I love the characters and everything. But yeah, there are a number of Nora Roberts books that I do want to own, and I do own a couple of hers. But again, I used to read them like crack. She was my drug, and I absolutely I love this series. And if you guys haven't picked up the series, you really should. It's SVU in, book form. So if you've ever watched Law & Order SVU and liked it, this might be the series for you, because it's so good. Alright, next I read Aeon by Alison Goodman, or I reread Aeon by Alison Goodman, so I could finally read Iona by Alison Goodman. So I finally finished this duology after years. I believe I read Aeon the first time in high school, and that was years ago. So I finally finished this duology, and okay, so of course I reread Aeon, and I gave it 4 stars. I still really love this book. This book is so good. I love it. It's all about a girl who has to, dress up and pretend she's a boy so she could compete to become a Dragonite and have like dragon powers inside of her, that kind of thing. And then she does become a dragon. Like, she wants to become the rat Dragonite, because this has got to do with all like the zodiacs. So she wants to become the rat Dragonite because that is the year of the rat. And what's it called? She doesn't become that. She ends up becoming the Mirror Dragonite, which the Mirror Dragon has been, hasn't come forth in, I want to say, centuries, like hundreds of years. But then for some reason it comes forth for her, and out of its alignment, yeah, let's see if I can. So they're here. You can see this. That's the Rat Dragonite, and that is the Mirror Dragonite. So, or the Mirror Dragon. People who are able to commune with the dragon are Dragonites. So that's the Rat Dragon, that's the Mirror Dragon. They had all of these dragons to go before that one could even come forth, but it decided to come forth out of its out of its time. So she is, well, he is, revered for that and becomes a lord because of that. And yeah, there's a lot of politics and stuff in this, and it's so good, and I absolutely loved it. And then we get to Iona. And for some reason, after every time I read Aeon, I can never ever read Iona because it's so hard for me. I don't know what it is, but I guess towards the ending of Aeon, I just feel like the sequel was not going to live up to the first book for me, and it didn't at all. I gave this 3 stars. it was okay. I did watch somebody's video, I believe it was Cece, and for some reason I can't remember her channel name, but she had just read Iona because she really loved Eon, and she gave it 1 star. So that kind of, you know, and that was recent, so I was like, I should really just read Iona and see if, because it is also in my 17 of 2017 books to read, so I had to read it anyway, and I didn't want to not read it because I really wanted to see what happened after the first book. But I had a feeling I was going to be disappointed, and I was. I just felt like there was so much in here that just wasn't needed. Like, there's this love triangle that just wasn't needed at all. And I just found myself getting so upset every time that would come up. And there was romance in here. There's no romance. Now, I get that she's pretending to be a boy and everything, so, you know, all the males don't really want to be with her, you know. I could get that because, you know, she's pretending to be a guy. Unless they prefer guys, but most of the guys in there prefer females. So, I guess finally when it comes out that she's a female, she's got to find some kind of romance. But it just felt like it was pushed. And, I don't know, it just didn't live up to the first book for me at all, and I just couldn't like it as much as I wanted to. Like, it was okay, it just didn't live up to the first book, and that love triangle really, really hit me hard. I was just like, this isn't needed, and I can't stand it. I think it's so stupid. Why put that in there? And it's so just awful. I mean, if you're gonna have romance, fine. I mean, even though it's a little pushed, I can, you know, it's okay, I can live with it. But that love triangle just really unnerved me, and I didn't like it, and yeah, I give this 3 stars. Okay. I still really love Eon, but I don't know if I'm even gonna keep this duology just because I really didn't like it. Or at least the conclusion to it. Alright, next up I have Maid-sama by Hiro Fujiwara. This is Bind Up number 7, volumes 13 and 14. And I've been reading this for quite some time now, and I really, really love the series. It's so good. And in this one, you get more of Misaki and Usui's like relationship and everything. It's just so good. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I mean, this series just has so much humor and drama, and it's just so good. Just so good. And I absolutely love it. And if you don't know what the series is about, it's all about a girl named Misaki. And she is student council president at her school, which used to be an all-boys school, but now is a co-ed school. And she's trying to make the school better so more girls will want to come in. So she has to be what they call the demon president. She has to be really, really tough on them. But in secret, she actually works at a maid cafe, and that's why she's in the maid uniform. And nobody knows it. Well, during the series, some people find out. But she wants everybody, you know, not to know about this. She wants to still be called the demon president. She doesn't want them to think that they can walk all over her now. So, yeah. And, of course, Usui is the love interest. Right there. Here, I'll show you a better picture in here. Where's a better picture? Ooh, that's a good one, but maybe not. Damn. Oh, here. That's better. Alright. That's him. And, you know, he's this, you know, like this mysterious student kind of thing. Like, nobody really knows that much about him, but everybody wants to be around him, you know, because he's so cool and he's so good at everything he does, sort of like Misaki, who is so good at everything she does, pretty much. And she always comes second to him, and she hates that. But they start to form, you know, a friendship and relationship, and it's so good, and I absolutely loved it. And I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm really excited, but I'm also really sad because the series is ending. Well, the series was already complete, but then they decided to put them in 2-in-1 bind-ups, so they're just, you know, reissuing them in these. But I've never read them until they came out in these, so it's like August 1st is when the final one comes out. I still have one more that I'm reading this month in July, but August 1st is the day the final one comes out, Bind Up 9, volumes 17 and 18, and I'm just like so excited for it because I really want to see how it ends, but I'm also like really, really sad because then it's over. But I love the series. 5 out of 5 stars. Alright, I read Yellow Brick War by Daniel Page. This is the third book to Dorothy Must Die, and I have to say I really like Dorothy Must Die, but the rest of the series so far, I've only read 2 other books, and then the final one, The End of Oz, I have to read this month, but I have to say I'm not really liking all of the books after the first one. This follows Amy, who is another girl from Kansas, and she gets thrown into Oz, just like Dorothy. She finds out that Dorothy is evil, and she has to kill her, and in doing so she has to, you know, get rid of, or she has to collect the 4 items, the Scarecrow's brain, the Tin Man's heart, or maybe it was just the 3 items, and the, courage from the Cowardly Lion. I want to say there was 4, but I could be wrong. But she does have to get rid of them before she can kill Dorothy. But it just, I don't know, there's just something about the series. Like, the first one was really good, and I really liked Amy, and I liked the characters, except, of course, for Dorothy and Glinda, because they're evil. But, oh, and the rest of the evil characters. But it's like, I don't know, there's just something about it that I'm just not liking the characters as much as I was. And I just feel like it keeps going downhill every time. At least my feelings for the characters every time I read the next book. I don't know, I'm really not liking Amy as much. I was kind of liking her in the first couple books. Or, like, I was really liking her in the first book. In the second book, she was okay. I mean, she was pretty good. And then this one, I'm just like, okay. I'm kind of waiting. Like, I'm feeling every time I'm reading this, just waiting for it to be over. It's really quick, and it's really short, and it's really easy to read. Like, it's not even 300 pages. This one was 270 pages. And I know that the 4th one is less than 300 as well. So, I mean, they're really quick and easy to read. It's just, I really like the first one, but I'm not really enjoying the rest of them as much. So I gave this 3 stars. It's okay. It's not as great. And again, I think after I read the last one, I'm probably not going to keep the series either. I don't know. We'll see how the last one concludes, but okay. Yeah. Alright, I also read Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. This one I bought, like, right when I found out about it, from Heather from the Bookables. I found it from her channel. Like, I've seen it making its way through book 2, but I never really paid attention to it until watching her video. Like, I was finally paying attention to everything, and then, I don't know, I heard something about, like, fan fiction, and then boom, I was like, okay, what is this book about, and why have I not actually picked it up yet? So this is all about a girl named Eliza, and she is a creator of this web series, but nobody knows. She doesn't want anybody to know. She's really, she doesn't really talk to anybody at school, or, you know, she's just more like to herself, and she doesn't really talk much. But then, but, okay, I'm going off topic. So yeah, it's all about this girl named Eliza who is the creator of this web series. It's hugely popular. Everybody loves it. Nobody knows that she created it. And then one day, this boy gets transferred to her school, and you find out that he is the, like, best fan fiction writer for her web series. Like, he's really popular as that. And again, nobody knows that she's a creator. So they strike up a friendship, and it starts to develop into something more, but then it gets out that she's a creator, and things just spiral from there. But this was so good, and I absolutely loved it, and I feel like I related to Eliza a lot, just because, you know, I didn't really have as many friends in school. I had some friends, but every time I feel like I made friends, they kind of, you know, backstab me. Except for one who is still, like, my best friend. Well, except for a few who are still my friends. But yeah, it's just, like, I could relate to her a lot. I've never, you know, I've never written a rep series or anything before like that. I've never, been that popular, you know, outside of school and everything, but I just felt like I could relate to her like that. And I really like the relationship between, Eliza and Wallace. I don't really like that name. But I did like the relationship between them. And yeah, when it got out, I just sobbed through a lot of this book, especially when it got out, and, you know, and her family life and drama. It was just so good, and I absolutely loved it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This was just so good. And then some of this is also, like, there's some illustrations in here, which I really liked, and then some is also, told in, like, IMs. So I really like that, and it made it really easy to read. And literally the day I got it, like, I was reading a book that day, but, like, the next day after I finished it, I went straight for this one, and I read it in, like, 2 sittings, and I absolutely loved it. This was so good. I highly recommend this book. 5 out of 5 stars. So good. Alright, I also read The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This book has a lot of diversity in it. It's so good. I read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli and absolutely loved it. So when I found out she was coming up with this, with another book, and it was kind of like a companion to Simon, I just had to have it, and oh my god. So this is all about a girl named Molly who, she knows a lot about unrequited love because she's had 26 crushes to date. She had 26, and she's never had a boyfriend. She's never told any of them how she feels. Again, I can relate to that because I had a lot of crushes in school, and I never told anybody how I felt. Like, my friends would, you know, tease me because I had a lot of crushes. I just crushed on, like, a lot of people. So she meets this girl in the bathroom of all places, and she thinks that this girl will be perfect for her sister, her twin sister Cassie, and they start to strike up a relationship. But this girl has 2 guy friends, and Molly starts to crush on one of them. And then Molly gets a job at this store, and I can't remember what the store is called. But one of the workers there, she starts to kind of develop a crush on him as well. His name is Reed, and he really loves Tolkien and everything. He wears like Lord of the Rings shirts, and I just love that. He's like a geek, and I love him. But it's kind of like a mystery, like, who's she gonna end up with? And I really loved this book. I thought this book was fantastic. The drama and just the romance and just everything about this book, the diversity, it was so good. Molly's parents are both female. She has 2 moms. Her sister is, I don't know if she's actually lesbian or she's bisexual. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's, I want to say she's a lesbian, and her girlfriend is pansexual, I believe. That's all I can think of for right now. But yeah, it just, this has so much diversity in it, and it's so good. And yeah, I just absolutely loved it. This book was so good. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Ruined by Amy Chintera. I've had this book on my shelf for a long time. I've heard about it from Margot over at Epic Reads, and she was like hyping this book up so much for me, so I had to have it. And then I bought it like a couple years ago, or like last year or something, and I never read it. So finally this year I put it on my 2017 books to read this year, that I had to read. So I finally read it, and I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love it as much. I felt like the hype was a little, you know, kind of, yeah. I kind of hyped this up too much on my head, so I was kind of disappointed a little. It's all about a girl named Emelina who She is a ruined. She lived in in the kingdom of Ruina or whatever, and then her family and her kingdom were infiltrated and pretty much like, destroyed. And some people got away, they were able to escape, but mostly all the ruined were killed by the enemy kingdoms. Emelina was able to escape. Her sister, Olivia, I think her name is, was taken captive. So Emelina, with some help, is trying to infiltrate the other kingdom, the one that kidnapped her, the kingdom of Lyra. And in doing so, she has to kill a princess and take over her identity from another kingdom, take over her identity, and then go and marry the Prince of Lyra, so she can get closer to the family and find her sister and get her out of there. So this was okay. I mean, it was good. This was quick and like kind of easy to read. I just didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I thought the relationship aspect was pretty good. The romance was pretty good. I didn't feel like it was pushed at all. It wasn't like insta-lovey for me, so that was pretty good. Sometimes I really like insta-love, sometimes I just feel like it doesn't work. I don't know, just something about... It was just something about it. I don't really know what it was that I just couldn't seem to like connect with everybody. I mean, I thought the characters were okay. I thought the writing was okay. I think just the whole like of this book was meh. Especially, I think the ending was like, oh great. Like, I believe like the first half of it was actually pretty good, and I was kind of liking it. Like when she infiltrated the kingdom, and she was like, she had to marry Cass and become one of their family members, and then like later on it gets out who she is, so then it started to like go downhill for me. I feel like that's what it was. But I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the sequel. I know the sequel pretty much just came out. I can't even remember. I think it's called Avenged. Yeah, I think it's called Avenged. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the sequel just because I didn't really love this one. We'll see how that goes. Like, maybe if it's on like Book Outlet or something for really cheap, I might pick it up. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this one, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel right now. I just know I didn't love this as much, and I gave it 3 stars, so yeah. The last book, finally, the last book, is Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. This is a series of novellas told from Simon's point of view, and I absolutely love it. I love this. I love this so much. I read this all on ebook last year before I picked up Lady Midnight, or maybe it was like the year before. Like, I probably read it at the end of the year before Lady Midnight came out. I don't know. I can't remember. I think I read it last year, like right before Lady Midnight. But I finally got it this at the end of last year for Christmas, and I got the physical copy, and I just absolutely love it. What I love so much is that for each novella there's like a little comic strip, little illustrations to show you like what's gonna pretty much happen, little sneak peek into the novella, and and then this is all pretty much from Simon's point of view, and I absolutely love it. I didn't love Simon as much in the Mortal Instruments series, but in this I absolutely loved him. I just felt like he really grew for me, and this was so good. 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I love this so much. So yeah, that's everything I read in June, guys. Again, I read some really great books, and I read some okay books. I didn't like hate any book that I read, so that was really good. But yeah, I just didn't love a few books. So yeah, that's everything that I read. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you again in another time. Bye! Have a good time. Happy reading.